Hello IP5. Welcome to week 4 of our online video lessons. So this is our 10th lesson now and our first lesson of the week. So we are going to continue with chapter 6, pronouns. And today we're moving on to lesson 4 of that chapter. Before we do start lesson 4, we are going to check the homework that we did in lesson 3. So the second lesson that you did last Friday. So please make sure you've got your workbooks ready so we can check that homework. And if you haven't done that workbook page yet, make sure you do it before you continue watching this video. Okay, IP5, this is the homework that I asked you to do in the second lesson on Friday. Workbook page 106. So in lesson 3, we were looking in more detail at using the subject pronoun I and the object pronoun me. And we were going over some of the mistakes people make with that. So in section A of this page, you had to read the sentence, look at the two words in parentheses, and choose the correct word to complete the sentence. So number 1, Ella and I went to a photography show. You need the subject pronoun I coming before that verb. Number 2, it was an interesting experience for Ella and me. We need the object pronoun me. Now there isn't an action verb in this sentence. There's a linking verb but not an action verb. But we always use object pronoun after the word for. Number 3, Dad decided not to go with Ella and me. Here we need to use the object pronoun me again because we have this action verb go. And number 4, Ella and I took the bus. Again, we use the subject pronoun I before this action verb in the subject of the sentence. So give yourselves a score out of 4, and I hope you all got 4 out of 4 there. In section B, there were 4 mistakes in this paragraph. We had to correct the mistakes. So, today Ella and I went to the museum. Again, this is the subject of the sentence before the verb went, so we need to change this object pronoun me to the subject pronoun I. She and I saw photographs by the famous photographer Ansel Adams. She and I is correct. The museum gave Ella and me a short tour. Remember, you need to name yourself last in a group. So even though me is the correct pronoun after this verb gave, we still need to change this so that me comes after Ella. He explained to her and me that Ansel Adams wanted to preserve the wilderness. We've got this action verb explained, so we need to use the object pronoun me after it. Ella and I wrote comments in the visitor's book. Ella and I is correct, using the subject pronoun correctly. The guide asked her and me who wrote great pictures in the book. Again, her and me is correct, coming after the action verb asked. But then I said, it was I. Now that one's a bit tricky. It was me sounds correct. But remember, we use the subject pronoun I after the linking verb be. And was is a form of that linking verb be. So that was a little bit tricky, that last one. I hope you all got at least these 3 correct, because they were quite obvious. This one was a bit harder, but hopefully you still got 4 out of 4. And also give yourselves a score out of 8. Okay, this lesson, lesson 4, is about possessive pronouns. Now you have done possessive pronouns before. You've done them with me in IP3, and you should have done them last year with teacher Aaron in IP4. But there's actually more to know about possessive pronouns. So some of this that we're doing today, you will not have seen. Right. So we talked when we did the nouns chapter about possessive nouns. We know that we use a possessive noun to show that someone owns or has something. Now we can use a possessive pronoun instead of a possessive noun. So here's a sentence with a possessive noun. Have you seen Amy's bag? We have the noun Amy, but we use apostrophe S to make that noun a possessive noun, to show that the bag belongs to Amy. We can change the possessive noun Amy's to the possessive pronoun her. Have you seen her bag? So the bag belongs to her. Her is a possessive pronoun. Let's look at this one. We've got that book is Emmy's. So again, Emmy's is being used as a possessive noun. We could also say that book is hers. Now you'll notice that her and hers are different. They are both possessive pronouns. They both mean something that belongs to a girl, but this one has an S at the end and this one doesn't. And now I'm going to explain why we can use her and hers in different ways. Okay, the reason that those pronouns were different, we always use some possessive pronouns before a noun. Now the possessive pronouns that you saw last year, they were ones that we used before a noun. So here we've got used before noun. This is our classroom. We've got the possessive pronoun our before this noun, classroom. But some possessive pronouns can stand on their own without using a noun. So this one is used alone. This classroom is ours. Now ours, it is talking about the classroom, but I could easily just say this is ours without a noun at all. So the possessive pronoun ours can stand on its own without having a noun after it or even a noun in the sentence. You can point at something and say, this is ours. So here's another example. That is my computer. You've seen the possessive pronoun my before, and it goes before the noun computer. But I could also say, that computer is mine, or this is mine. So again, I can use mine without having a noun next to it. So I'm going to show you now the different lists of possessive pronouns. So these are the possessive pronouns that I think you've seen before. These ones go before a noun, like my shoes, your hat, his socks, her feet, its tail, our friend, their books. You use them before a noun. But these ones can stand alone. These do not need to have a noun in the sentence. So, it is mine, this is yours, where is his, have you seen hers, look at its, this is ours, where are theirs. You can say those without having a noun in the same sentence. Now you'll notice that his and its are the same. So my and mine is different, your and yours is different, etc. But his and its are the same, whether they are used before the noun or whether they stand alone. Okay, please open your textbook to page 222. Look at questions 1 to 5. You need to read the sentence and choose the correct possessive pronoun. So number 1. The students finished their or theirs reports. So you need to think, is this pronoun being used before a noun, or is it used on its own? So you need to decide which pronoun to use. So as usual, if you've got your textbook, do it in your textbook. If you don't have your textbook, when you pause the video, write the answers on some paper. Please, when I ask you to pause the video, press pause and do not press play until you've finished up to number 5. So please pause now. Okay, have you finished up to question 5? If you have, you can keep watching for the answers. Number 1, the students finished their reports. We used their before the noun reports. Number 2, is the report about Carlsbad Caverns yours? This is standing on its own. It's not going before a noun. So yours. Number 3, hers is about a visit to the museum. Again, there's no noun after it. If it was her report, you'd say her, but because it doesn't have a noun, you say hers. Number 4, the eagle is the subject of my report. Again, we've got this noun report, so we use my. And number 5, it is a wide wingspan. Now, this is actually IT'(s), which means it is. It's not a pronoun. This it is a possessive pronoun showing that the wingspan is wide. So I hope you got 5 out of 5. If you didn't, don't worry too much. But when we do the next section, you need to be more careful and think, is this going before a noun or not? So look at questions 6 to 12 on the next page, page 223. Same type of questions. You read the sentence, decide, is this pronoun being used before a noun or not before a noun? So which one do I need to use? So again, please press pause and press play when you finish up to number 12. So please pause now. Have you finished? If you are finished, keep watching for the answers. Okay, number 6. Its title is the Ridley Rounder. It is actually a subject pronoun, not a possessive pronoun. Number 7. The article about the Special Olympics will be yours. Again, not being used before a noun, so we say yours. Michelle is an artist and the cartoons are hers. Her story, her comes before the noun story, about the bird feeder is on page 2. Number 10, the story about the wood carvings is mine. Number 11, Kiki and Toby wrote their story about butterflies. And number 12, the article on subways was also theirs. So give yourselves a score out of 7 for that section and a total out of 12. I hope if you struggled with the first section that you did better with the second section. Okay, almost at the end. Your homework for today is workbook page 108. So please make sure you finish that page before you watch the first lesson, lesson 119, on Friday the 5th of February. As usual, we'll just check what to do for that homework before we finish. Okay, IP5, this is workbook page 108, about possessive pronouns. Section A is very similar to the work you've just done in the textbook. You write these sentences again with the correct possessive pronoun in parentheses. Section B, you read this paragraph and there are 4 mistakes using possessive pronouns. So you need to find those mistakes and write the correct possessive pronoun. Okay, IP5, so that is the end of this lesson. Please make sure you finish that workbook page before you watch the first lesson on Friday. Until then, thank you, IP5. Bye-bye.